Zayd is always the first one to hop on. You notice that, right?
Yeah.
Zayd,
Yeah, I was on time. I was looking at my phone and okay.
Zayd is punctual, man. Zayd be there with his background ready, backdrop ready, and everything.
Levi's will take his place.
I think I think Zayd be ready before me.
For real. He sent you the host message.
Like you're gonna send me the link soon.
He's
Um,
he's a man of time.
Happy birthday, by the way, Joe. I saw.
Oh my god. Hey bro. As soon as you text me, I told Paul, I was like, yo, baby's such a swell fellow.
I'm like, happy birthday, bro.
I swear, bro, we were sitting down and Paul just started like we all got our little desserts because we got these lava cakes.
Mm-hmm.
We all got the same thing. And then Paul's like, happy birthday, singing it. And then he said my name, Joe, like, happy birthday to you. And then we each finished our cake, right? We're sitting down like, fuck, we're full. Damn. And then the waitress comes by. I heard it was someone's birthday over here with a little happy birthday cake. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's me.
How you guys doing?
What's up, buddy?
Hold on. You got double cake, bro?
Yeah. Zayd, it's Joe's birthday was last night. If you didn't see,
happy birthday, Joe!
It wasn't, man. It wasn't.
Yeah,
that's a good deal, though. Free
dessert. Bro. Fucking, we just got done eating dessert, and then they came by with that because fucking Paul decided to start singing "Happy Birthday" to me when they brought us the first dessert.
Hey, man.
What's new with you, Stu? I feel like the three of us are like synced up. I think me, Zayd, and Joe are all like in a health phase, right? You guys
yeah. I'm not.
Have you seen Stu? He's like 280 pounds, fully blasted.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Unhealthy phase, the
fuck it phase. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good right now, man. I just had to do a deload a couple days ago because I was just, everything was going real good, and then I just kind of hit a wall middle of the week. Yeah. So I'm just like doing fluffy shit in the gym right now, but it's all good. It's just a couple more days of boring, just pump stuff and then be back to it. Like I think we talked about last, I probably got like another month or two off season, month and a half, I think.
Yeah.
So.
And you're 26, 27? How old are you?
Yeah, 26 going on 36, yeah.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? When I was in my 20s, right? I used to, like my early mid-20s, I never understood the recovery thing because I never felt tired or fatigued, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now, I think once I hit like maybe, I don't know, 28, 29, then it just hit me like a fucking ton of bricks. Then I couldn't recover because I was the guy that would do like 30 sets per body part, all to failure, and heavy, and to me, I was like, that's normal. Everybody like, oh, do you really train like that to failure? I'm like, yeah, is that like a problem? What's the issue? That's hard to do, man. I'm like, no, it's fun,
I think some people can do it. It's just like, like you're a big guy naturally, right?
Yeah,
like you're pretty athletic, like you think about like the guys who are studs on the football team. They could like practice 6 days a week, beat the shit out of themselves, like doing all that stuff, and then they go play on a football weekend and they're like perform fine. That ain't me, man. I can't do that.
What
a little fragile.
I think it's also relative, right? Because when I was playing football, I was playing basketball. I mean, the seasons didn't cross, but I would still play basketball with my friends while playing football, while lifting weights, while doing whatever teenagers do, right?
So that would fucking bury most people, most white guys.
but I'm that white guy.
But if you start from there, then you back off to only lifting weights. It was easy. It was like, wow, this is my body's recovering, So I was able to do that for, I guess, I don't know, 10 years, maybe. Let's say 10 years. And then out of nowhere, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Also, the size is relative, right? If you got you and Joe at 280, I think Stu's a little taller, though. I think Stu is what, like you're like 5'9"?
5'8" and a bit.
Okay. And then Joe.
Pretty close.
How tall are you, Joe?
Same as Stu.
Okay, so
5'8" and a bit.
you take me, you take me at 5'11", 6 foot at 280, and you take you guys at 280. I mean, it's a lot more muscle to carry. So even though I'm big on the scale, technically, you guys are still more muscular than me, right? So you being that big, I think it takes a bigger toll on you guys to do all that volume with that much muscle on your frames.
Yeah, and also as you get older and stronger, especially CNS wise, which I have minimal understanding of. You'd have to ask a power lifter to explain that shit to you if they even know. But like, if you're training to failure, like really going all the way, you can zap yourself, especially if you're doing heavy compounds like deadlifts and like squats and stuff. And if you're moving 50% more weight than you used to be, that's still a massive hit to your CNS and recovery wise, right? So like, you might have to scale back your volume over the years as you get bigger and stronger. I mean, I haven't really scaled it up or back or anything for the most part. I kind of still in a sweet spot, but you just gotta like monitor it and adjust it accordingly.
My volume has went down every single year since I probably started. I got down. I got down to as low as like at some points, maybe during a rebound and during contest prep, I got down to like, maybe 3 movements, 2 working sets to failure. Like we're talking about 6 to 9 working sets per body part. And I was still responding and growing, I think because you already not limit your volume, but you control your volume. You don't go overboard. You'll probably be able to train the way you're already training for a good amount of time because you didn't overexert yourself, right? So you won't get that rebound effect that I got where I feel like I just got hit by a ton of bricks. Joe just recently changed his training style a little bit. I noticed like his form is a lot tighter. He's using like lighter weights, not super light, but I've seen Joe press like over 4 plates, I think, on the incline. And now I see him doing a lot more contraction and stuff like that because Joe is year 29, 28?
29.
Yeah.
I'll be 30 in 2 months.
Yeah, so you're about to be an old man.
Ooh, big 3-0.
But it's good that you didn't wait till you were completely beat up to do that. You did it while you're still fresh.
Well, I mean, I just kind of followed different people. So you're talking about Joe. Yeah.
No, I mean, I just like the whole like work up to a top set and then maybe back off or just walk away after like as many reps as possible at the heaviest weight. I did that for a long time, and I got really strong. Like before I walked away from the heavy weight, I was squatting or Smith squatting 6 plates for 10 reps. And like ass grass, like for a motion, but I was belted up and shit. Like praying to God I wasn't gonna tear nothing. And then I like talk about CNS. Like after that, the rest of the workout was just whatever I had. Like,
dude, you're fucked.
I'm like fuck, man. So and then I told myself like shit. Like why can't I just? Would it be smarter to do that like week to week or like scale it back a little bit and do more working sets with like say 4 1/4 at most 5, like and then slow it down and like make the muscle work harder than do those risk reps kind of thing. Like so fuck I just like you said, I knew I was gonna get older and I'm like, how much more can I beat up my body and get away with it before something happens?
100%.
So
I noticed
recruiting muscles is like a learned skill. Like when you're first in the gym, like you're doing a bench press, like you're doing the motion, your form might even be great, but you can't really feel your chest. It takes years to figure that out. And, I mean, I'm kind of similar to Joe in that, like, I used to be moving really big weights on a lot of stuff, and I am probably like 85 to 90% of the strength and reps that I used to hit like a year or 2 ago. But I'm significantly bigger and the control is way better. Like, the stimulus is better. So, I think for 80% of people in the gym, until you get up to a certain level of muscularity and experience, like you just need to get stronger. Like the load set, back off set thing works really damn well. That's how I put on most of my muscle. It's probably how Joe put on a lot of this tissue.
Yeah.
But you need to change things eventually. So
I
And
noticed.
that's one thing. That's like a caveat to, because I've had people ask me about that. I have scaled back the loads, but like Beatty was talking about, my form and like the tightness of it and everything, the fluidity, it's changed, but I still go up in weight. So it's like I'm working back to those top numbers that I used to hit, just with way better form, better control, better connection to my muscle, and getting bigger in that way. So I'm still progressive overloading over time, like this.
Exactly. I noticed Zayd does like a mix. I've seen Zayd go pretty heavy, but for the most part, I feel like Zayd always had like absolute mind muscle control over the way he's training. Like, how would you describe your training, Zayd?
Honestly, dude, as you know, everyone has a different style, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because this is last prep, I was training with Brad because with the newbie, he has that machine, and then I would train with Douglas, that is more heavy duty mechanical training. So I had literally two types of trainers. One is this way, scientific and all about the pump and the electricity. And the other guy would literally stack 8 plates on my hack squat and was like, give me 6. Halfway. Don't go, because, sometimes my glutes would take over and he would make me go halfway instead of full range. And that is a lot harder for me because I'm not used to it. But of course, nothing beats heavyweights. Nothing. The look, it's the dense look. That's what creates. The heavy lifting is what creates that dense ass. Yeah.
You know what's funny? Because Stu just said that, or I think Joe said it. Everybody starts with the progression because it's funny because Brad.
Everyone should start there.
You're right.
A lot of people don't.
A lot of people
they don't know how to train hard. They follow their TikTok influencer, or they're like, they do what Charles Glass tells his clients to do. Like, dude, you're not ready for that.
Because that comes later. See, a lot of people, they catch these people on the back end. They don't see the beginning, right? So you just talk about Brad Rowe. I see how Brad trains now. When I first moved to LA, I moved here 7 years ago. Brad trained like Branch Warren. I don't know if you guys remember.
Dude, he's so strong. He used to squat like a motherfucker, right?
Bro, and he was literally
7 plates.
Yeah.
He would lateral raise like 80s. Like he have the branch thing going on. So a lot of people don't remember that. They only remember the new Brad, that he's retired and he got the newbie, and he's, listen, the newbie actually does work if you can't connect with the muscle, but he didn't build the original muscle doing like slow contraction, right? Or even who did you just mention? Nick Walker, right? Nick Walker. I see people like, look how big Nick Walker is. He's only using 100 and squeezing. Bro, Nick is from Jersey, right? So when he was coming up, I used to try to compete with him in my head, like with the lifts, and I would tag him like, Nick, look, I did the 180s. And then Nick, but I've seen him do the 220s, bro. 220s on incline. Think about that.
Wow,
who the fuck you see do 225s, whatever?
Who do you think you are?
That's what I'm saying. Like, nobody does that. Honestly, most people can't even put the shit on their knees or lift it off the floor, let alone press it. So if Nick was incline pressing 225s for like 6 to 8 reps, just think about that, right? So
with crazy control too.
We're perfect form.
That's the nasty thing about him. Like, he's just owns everything.
Every single rep was perfect. I've never seen anybody hit anything over 180s with Nick's form. Maybe Luke. I think I seen Luke Sandow do like 200s with perfect form. But besides that, I haven't seen it. So yeah, he didn't build that 260 pounds of muscle at 5'7" by using 20-pound dumbbells. Now maybe he's doing it, but it's a whole different ball game now.
It's kind of like, remember last week we were talking about like, guys might be able to maintain or prep for shows, with their professional level physiques on like minimal drugs, but that's not how they got there.
100%.
It's kind of the same thing.
I like to preface that though, because I feel like this next prep I do, my doses is going to be an all-time low, just because, first of all, not even that I don't feel like I need anymore. Honestly, I react negatively now. Like, I'm on 1 shot of test a week right now, right? And I'm still kind of holding water. Whereas before, when I would go on cruise doses, I would get so dry and just like lose a bunch of fullness, right? And I'm like, why am I holding so much fullness in water, right? I don't know if it's getting older or what the case is. So every time that happens, it happens a little bit less. I lose a little bit less fullness every time. I'm the same exact weight I was when I was full blast or rebound. So that tells me like if I was to push it to like a gram a test, I'm gonna look like a water buffalo, and I don't want to do that, and I'm gonna feel like crap. Yeah. I don't want to feel like crap. So I'm gonna see how I feel on 500 tests, right? But then I wouldn't go around saying, "Oh, I'm just on 500 tests." I'll be like, "I'm on 500 tests now," but to get here, that wasn't what it took. You know, so
you got to throw that in there if you're talking to like younger guys about this, because I mean, just for the sake of transparency, and I'm sure like Joe and Zay, you know, they just turned pro. I'm a pretty new pro. Like, you kind of get it in your head that like you start wondering like, what are these guys doing? You know, like maybe I need to like, you know, fucking ramp it up and to like catch up to these guys. I just, you know, I'm sure some people are just running like 3-4 grams of drugs. Like, I'm sure they're out there. I don't think that would really benefit me at this point, because like, you know, I think higher doses of drugs are better used to like build muscle in the first place. Once it's there, you can maintain it on much less, and then getting ready for a show, you just have to be intelligent with the way that you prep in order to not lose it. You don't need 3 grams of shit, you know. So my doses haven't gone upwards in like 2 years. They've just been pretty flat.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like from last podcast when I heard 10 IUs for the last 3 years from Stu, dude, I was thinking to myself honestly, like, man, maybe I should do that. You know, maybe this is when I'll get this fucking.
And then you'll be ugly like me.
I never did that, but you know, I mean, it worked for you, you know. So you know, things like that do matter, bro, because your word or someone else's word of you guys could have a big influence, because it rings something in someone else's head. Oh, I never did that. Maybe this is what I need to get as big as this guy. You know,
but the only issue is that different things seem to work differently for people, right?
Yeah.
So some people would say, you know, I just did 100 IUs of insulin and I put on 30 pounds of muscle, right? Whereas I'll try 100, you know, I'll try insulin and I'll just not look very good at all. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what anybody else does, you kind of have to find your own formula. You know, I know guys who eat 8,000 calories in the off season, you know, and they look great. Whereas me, I just don't need that much food. I just don't need a lot of food. I don't do this, but I know I could eat 3 meals a day and still maintain 300 pounds, right? But you know, it's just, you know, everybody's so different that I don't think you can base it. You can learn off of other people, but you can't base your cycle based off of what works for somebody else. You know, some people physically can't do 10 IUs of GH because their hands get so numb and swollen. They're like, bro, I can't even work out, you know? So
yeah, I respond personally. Excuse me. I personally responded really good to growth hormone. That said, I haven't ramped it up past that 10 unit dosage for like the whole time I've been using it, really. Because it's like, okay, this is working. I'm still putting on tissue. I have friends who are on 15, 17, you know, and they don't look as good as me. I mean, there are different points in the career, obviously, but like, you know, they don't respond the same way. And some of it's pharmaceutical, you know, and I mean,
17 IUs a day.
Yeah. You know, and I scratch my head. I'm like, maybe that's what I got to do. But like, I look at my physique and I'm like, I'm competing in the 250s. I don't need 10 pounds of tissue on top of where I am now. Yeah. You know, I need to get really hard. That's what I got to do. So, I mean,
I actually had I had a coach that was kind of like courting me. He was trying to get me as a client, and he was telling me what some of his guys did, and he has a couple of guys at the Olympia level, right? And he was like, you know, honestly, bro, like, don't really like ramp up the gear doses, but the GH has to go up. He said, like, some of these guys, he'll do small blasts. Like, let's say he does 5 IUs, you know, most of the time, but he'll do small blasts of like 15, 20 IUs, right? But that won't be longer than like a month or so. But he said just creating those extra new muscle cells, right? That kind of, you know, initiates. And I'm like, huh? Is that like a thing? Do people actually do that? You know, granted, just because he does that, it doesn't mean a lot of people do that.
Maybe he just does the 15 units until they can't afford it anymore, and they're just like, "Fuck this."
A lot of fucking units, man.
Yeah, but also, some coaches, they'll give their clients really good deals on farm grade GH, or I wouldn't be surprised if some of them give it to their clients for free.
You know? Oh yeah, definitely.
We're not getting into the names because I want to get some of these guys on the podcast. Stu,
I got him keeping my mouth shut. We're good.
I think Stu knows. But yeah, but
we got to send you over to Kuwait, baby. They'll love shooting you up.
Oh man! But you notice the black guys do really good at Kuwait. Is that a coincidence? Like that style. I think that high. Well, I think Fuad tried to say that though, and I think he has a point. I think some of that high volume pump stuff it works for the round muscle bellies.
Yeah,
because I know they don't believe in like heavy free weights. They do a lot of machines, a lot of high reps. You know, I would imagine a good amount of gear and GH.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I had somebody tell me you don't even know what's in the injection.
No, yeah, the same. My boy Mike, big
Mike, another devil.
Big Mike went out there too, and he said something similar. Like it's filled, and they'll come shoot you, give you your meals. You don't got to know what you're eating. You don't got to know how many ounces. That's why some of them like it sounds like they're being secretive, but they really might not just know what they're eating or taking. They're just like, okay, there's fish and rice. I don't know how much, but I'm eating it. You know what I'm saying? So that could happen. But
sure.
Back to the gear doses, right? Anytime I've tried it all, so I'm not going to say I haven't tried high doses. I've tried, pretty high doses, more than I'm even comfortable saying, and that's just a lot for me. But I've tried it, and anybody who's been following me for a few years, see like sometimes how I'll look 6 weeks out versus show day, right? Because it's not real muscle. That's how I look at it. So if you push the doses and you get crazy full and round and veiny, you eventually, you still have to lose that water weight. You have to come off a test at some point, or you have to come off a growth. You have to lose that fullness, right? You can't just blast, 1.5 grams, 2 grams of test all the way into the show. So that's going to come down if you want to be in shape. And what would happen is 6 weeks out, people would be like, damn, this guy could win the show. And then I'll come show day, they'll be like, I don't look the same as what it looked like 4 weeks out. So it's like, what's the point to get that crazy boost just to lose it anyways? Because it's not real. So at the end of the day, if you want to build real tissue, you're gonna have to push your food up. Yeah, you're gonna have to push some growth and gear, but taking grams and grams of gear, it changes your look, short term, but it's not stage weight because that water weight and bloat has to come off for you to be dry. Right. So
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to have it on in the off season though. Cause like that water and fullness and everything it's all indicative of like, you're
lean mass,
like pushing nutrients into the muscle, right?
Sure.
That's going to result in some actual tissue growth. So it's a good indicator, but it's not like that number on the scale is like not meaningless, but like, have an asterisk next to it.
I think it's more important for sure in the off season because my issue is that I wouldn't push that hard in off season. I would actually push the drugs higher in the beginning of prep, and it probably would have been better off if I would have pushed it in off season when I actually need it. Because in prep, that's when it's temporary because I just bring it up just to bring it back down. You know what I'm saying? So I think you have a point there. But you were going to say something. My fault. I cut you off.
I forgot what I was going to say.
The point is more and more drugs doesn't equal more and more results. And I think people say it all the time, but I think people who want to take more drugs are going to do it anyways. And they're just going to find out that that's just not the secret,
Yeah. Like I said, my doses have gone up maybe 10%, 15% in the last 2 to 3 years. It's like I'm doing the same stuff. I'm just like my body can handle it better now. And eventually, I would like to bring it back down. I think it'd suit me better. It'd be better for my health. I might even look better eventually.
Exactly.
Especially if you want to go for a long time and you want to have a long extended career, you have to think about those things and you have to have some reason to your cycles. You can't just go Boston Lloyd mode all the time, Yeah. And then your muscles won't fucking react anymore, to be honest. When I was 19 and 20 and 21, I used to take more than I normally take right now. And ever since I got with Brad, he literally lowered my dosages by half. He's like, "What the fuck is this? Half of this is not necessary."
Yeah.
And then, of course, I had to trust his word, but I was always compensating PEDs for the time I just needed to spend in the gym. That was the goal, not the goal, but the lesson. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't just buy time and just get more steroids in your blood and get bigger. It's just you have to spend more time in the gym. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So you need more training time, basically. And
not
I didn't
just
realize that because I was young. That's all. So I had to cut down the dosages and focus on the actual training and grow from the training itself. And it worked well. Yeah.
I got a question for you guys.
Mhm.
I mean, my opinion, as far as like you're at the beginning of your career, you should like ramp up dosages up to like a kind of steady state, and then eventually, when you've got most of your muscle on you, you should bring them back down because you don't need to keep on pushing them up to put on more tissue, right?
Okay.
I think it's better to run those higher doses to put on that tissue younger rather than like when you hit 30 or something like that. No offense, Joe. But it's like I think my rationale, or maybe I'm just like totally rationalizing this, is like when I'm younger, my body is more resilient. It's going to be able to put up with more abuse versus like 4 or 5 years from now. If I still don't have enough muscle, then I'm going to still have to push those drugs up most likely. But now I'm doing it with a less hardy vessel, if that makes sense. What do you guys, do you think that's asinine or?
No, actually, it's true because when you're in your 20s, dude, you're made out of fucking steel. Whatever you do to yourself, you probably can bounce back. Once you cut that 31, 32, 35, you start becoming more responsible. You start weighing out things differently, and then you'll be like, maybe I shouldn't be doing all of that. Maybe I should be thinking about something else. But during your 20s, you don't give a fuck. You're just going at it.
I also don't think you need to. If you have all the muscle at that age, like I just don't think it's necessary anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not there yet. We'll see. But
dude, what do you mean? You're 26.
Like,
you're very good at 26. Incredible, dude. I think it's you and Joe. Obviously, you both are phenoms because you're done a lot in such short time.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward for you guys, I feel like this is a healthier thing for you because you built majority of your tissue. You can just get a little bigger each time out, and you don't have to force feed yourself too much where you have to grow too much. Like for me, I'm older than you, and I'm 220. So imagine in the pro league as an open class guy, how much weight do I have to put on versus you guys?
Do you want to do
which is
open?
good. Yeah.
Really?
I'm not going to 12. No, I'm doing
you
open
turned pro
right
in light heavies, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was 220 at finals, Stu. So I was
shit. Okay.
Yeah. So not too bad. Not too bad.
I mean,
like going back to Ian Valier's career, I know on some podcasts he got shit on for saying he was only doing like 750 milligrams of tests. Like, I think we all know he didn't do that to get to his size. I think maybe he tapered back down because he had the size. And he was, I mean, at the end of his career, like Stu kind of saying, like, you're going to push a lot of gear when you're younger, and then you don't have to once the initial size is there. Now it's just the quality in the muscle and then the time with the muscle. So the maturity kicks in and everything. So you're literally just going against time after you've done all the harsh shit in the beginning. So I think it's definitely more productive to do it in that manner and then be able to walk away scathe free with the lower dosages, like once the initial stuff is built. Because all you need is just time and maturity. That's it.
See,
which is healthier, right? It's healthier for you guys going forward. You don't have to push crazy off seasons for 50 more pounds. Yeah.
What I don't like is when some of the old school guys, I think sometimes they forget how things were when they were younger, or maybe because they're older, they want to like romanticize the way they did things, right? So some of these guys been taking gear since they were teenagers, but they'll be like, yo, you guys nowadays, you relax with the drugs, wait until your late 20s, 30s before you hop on. And it's like, bro, if you're gonna, let's say if you have crazy genetics and you're progressing naturally, right? But why would you wait till you're 30 to start your bodybuilding career or to start taking gear? It's like that. I think that's going too far. Like I've heard Greg Doucet say shit like that, right? Oh, just wait until, bodybuild for the first 10 years naturally. Wait till you're 30 to hop on gear. And it's like, well, if you're going to hop on 30, when do you plan on retiring then at that point, right? So it would be healthier if you were doing it in your 20s instead of doing it on the back end, in my opinion. I don't believe that you should hop on day one, but listen, if you know this is something you want to pursue, why would you just waste 10 years doing it naturally if you know that you're not trying to be a natural bodybuilder? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most of the top guys nowadays, and even in the past too, like they were training seriously for this goal when they were teenagers. They started in their late teens or early 20s, drug wise. And don't even get me started about them and their doses. Like, oh, we used to use nothing compared to you guys. They're all full of shit. Not all of them, but like, yeah, give me a break, dude. They lie through their teeth. But if you want to be the best in the world at something, whatever it is, like you need to start early and be focused from the jump because you have a limited window. People like to talk about like, oh, if you start your career later, then you'll be able to stretch it out longer into your 40s or whatever. Like that's kind of true, but a 40-year-old body is just not going to respond like a 32-year-old. It's just not going to look as good. You just have more mileage on you. That's fine, but I'd say get this shit over with because the guys in their 40s that are still huge, they don't last long. It's not a good track record there.
Yeah, there's like literally a handful of them, and the rest are younger, right?
Yeah, and the rest of them are like dropping, which is scary. So that this should tell you something. I'm going to be done with this shit by the time I'm 40, most likely. I want to be eating granola, riding a bike.
What bike is going to hold you up?
I think a good comparison is kind of like my progression at Paul's. Paul's about to be 44, and we train just as hard. We eat just as much, so we're very consistent. But my progression is very visual and very quick, and his is so minuscule. Yeah, he looks at our pictures and our comparisons, like, what the fuck?
Damn, Joe.
It's like, well, man, like he started pretty late. Mm-hmm. So
he called Paul minuscule. Damn.
No, I said his minuscule progression.
It's funny because Joe's a phenom, right? Because from the outside looking in, I'm like, yo, Paul's progressing pretty fast for a 40-year-old guy. But Joe is younger, and Joe's a freak of nature. So Joe is adding damn 30
That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying, like,
I'm younger.
I'm 14 years younger than him.
No, that's going to make a difference. Honestly, low key, what Paul is doing at his age, I feel like Paul is a phenom himself. He just started late because I think if Paul would have started at 20, Paul, because he's a big dude, bro. And he's 43 years old? I don't know.
Dude. He's accomplished all that in like a matter of like 3-4 years.
That's what I'm saying. Because when I met Paul to now, I'm like, it's a lot of progression for a guy that age. So imagine if he would have started at 20, bro. Like, I mean,
he talks about it all the time.
Yeah, but
wish I could have, like, kind of thing.
But then it's like at that time, your mind just wasn't there. Your mind just wasn't.
The guy he used to be, he wouldn't have accomplished any of the stuff he's doing now.
No,
like he was too much into the party scene. He would have never done this.
Exactly.
I mean, Zaid, Doug. I listened to that interview on Soft White Underbelly. I had no idea he had such a colorful past.
To be honest, I've learned more about him through the interview than I do when I see him because we're focused, But dude, it's such a inspiring story, and he's still doing it. He's doing Romania in a few weeks.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Man,
yeah. I mean, it's really cool to hear shit like that. But And most likely, you know, bodybuilding saved him from drug addiction, which is amazing, and you see it all the time.
100%.
But you know, is he ever going to be a top pro? Most likely not. You know, you kind of burn those years, and you know, it's fine.
It's okay. Yeah. Listen, I think bodybuilding saved us all. I mean,
yes,
you know,
absolutely.
Because people can make the argument and say, "Bro, is this like? Are you scared? Is this unhealthy?" And it's like, bro, if I didn't bodybuild, bro, you have no idea that the kind of person.
Keeps me going, baby.
Yeah, you have no idea the kind of person I would or wouldn't be. I don't even know the kind of person I would be, but something tells me it wouldn't be that great of that great of a person. I don't know. I didn't have anything going for me. I had nothing to look forward to. I was just like mad that I was like poor in the fucking projects. Like, there's nothing good is gonna come out of that. Something bad is gonna come out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it saved me because there's something I can do, and I don't need a lot of money to do it. I can just do it. And it's funny because I've made money through bodybuilding, even if it wasn't bodybuilding, right? Like, my first good paying job was the bouncing and like the bodyguard. Well, if I'm 6 foot. If I wasn't buff, I wouldn't be hired as a bodyguard, you know? So bodybuilding gave me that job, right? And then coaching and training all comes from bodybuilding. So it literally saved me financially, saved me mentally, it saved me in so many ways. And the nicest people you'll meet are the ones who have the most colorful past. I was gonna have Nate Spear on today, but his flight got delayed, so I might have him on next week. Nate is from the East Coast as well, so I know Nate's past. I think people know now because he's been doing it, you know. But talking to him, you would never be able to tell. If you see Nate's old pictures, bro, Nate was a hoodlum, bro. Nate was a hoodlum, but nobody can tell that talking to him now. You know what I'm saying? But see some of his old pictures, man. He had the North Face, the Mermon, and he's in the hood and shit.
It's so funny because he's so soft spoken now. He's so friendly, you know.
Yeah,
it's like crazy. You wouldn't think.
Or like Antonio. I've heard Antonio's past stories too. If he didn't have the tattoos, you wouldn't be able to tell. If he was just like no tattoos, just hanging out, he's the most soft spoken, nicest guy you ever.
Super cool, yeah. He's, you know, sweetheart.
You wouldn't be able to tell, but I mean, he had, you know, quite the past too. So I think it saved a lot of us, you know. And you could even say Antonio started late, but it almost doesn't matter because it's early enough, you know. I feel like Joe and me started kind of late, but it doesn't really matter because it's not that late, you know. There's still time, but we could have started earlier and been even further ahead technically. Yeah. But it's like, who cares?
I think about that all the time when Paul asked me why I wasn't competing earlier, why I was taking so long, and I was like, honestly, I really didn't have the mindset for it before. I wanted to party, I wanted to hang out with my friends. I didn't want to worry about food and all that stuff. I wanted to live my life. Like, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to have the discipline to do this now. Like, I wouldn't.
I think that's my whole point. Even financially or mentally, if I didn't do what I did when I was younger, I don't think I would be able to do it now, you know, because I knew what it took. And I'm like, can I do that? I can do the training part, but all the other sacrifice and discipline, I just wasn't ready to give it up. So I would half-ass do it, even though I was competing here and there, but that wasn't real. Like, I'm eating Chinese food and shit on prep like that. That's not
ice cream, you say?
Yeah, I'll have a Ben and Jerry. I did a whole prep. I won an overall here, and I was eating fried rice the entire prep, and I was having 2 full cheat days a day. You know what I'm saying? That's not good. That's not how you do it. But in my head, I'm like, I'm looking at the people. I'm like,
I'm flat.
I'm doing a local show. I'm like, realistically, how shredded do I have to be to win this show, man? I think I'll be all right.
Dude, that's such a dangerous mindset. Like, when you start thinking, like, what can I get away with and still look decent?
That was me, bro. Oof. You don't want to do that because, listen, yeah, it's a local show. Most of the guys are not going to beat you, but you get that one guy. Like, look at yourself, right? You might be that one guy, or somebody else might be that one guy. You get Joe show up, and then he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Right? You know. So there's always going to be that. I did a show and Vincenzo, you know,
Missoni, yeah.
But that was when he was like, think about it, he was like 21, 22. He was already 300 fucking pounds. So, it took him a while to get his pro card, but he was always huge. So I'm doing a show in Brooklyn. I'm like, ain't nobody in Brooklyn can beat me. So I'm like, yeah, I'm a heavyweight. And then I see Vince. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like 6'2" and shit. I'm like, bro, he was signed with Animal. He had people taking pictures and shit. He like, damn, I'm not winning this show. But it was close, actually, believe it or not. It was close.
He won the super heavies last year at the Amateur O.
He did.
Yeah, he looked freaking freakazoid.
But see, he looks freakier in person. He's one of those people. I think you got to see him in person because you don't realize how big he is.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised.
Honestly, his legs are not small. They're just less round.
They're long. They're really long too.
Yeah,
but they're big.
Yeah,
I'm actually surprised it took that long. But I mean, there's been some good supers. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's been some good supers. So sometimes it's just you can be good, but every once in a while, you're gonna get people who can stand next to you.
He had a kid recently too. I wonder if he's gonna keep competing or if he's all. He owns a gym too, right? Like he's probably got himself sorted out.
Hey, that kid thing is rough. I got to be honest with you. I think it seems easier than it is, but anytime I see somebody have a kid, they slowly start to kind of like back away from the stage. I think it's just how it goes.
Yeah,
it's a lot harder than most people think.
Speaking of supers at the Amateur O, there's Brandon.
Oh yeah, there you go, Brandon right there. He's working with Jacoby or
what's his name?
Cameron. He working with Cameron, no?
Yeah, Cheek. Yes.
Cheek. Yeah. So Cheek said he wants to hop on too as well. I think I want to have him on solo so we could do coach talk. I think I want to have him on solo to really like pick his brain as a coach. I like having the coaches on by themselves sometimes. But Cheek he's upcoming, man. He's upcoming. I think he's doing great.
We have to chase down Brandon with a tanning gun this time.
Oh no.
Because that shit. I remember that USA he did, bro. Yeah, he was pale.
This is bad. Yeah.
And speaking of stepping away from the stage, like that segue.
Yeah.
This is Sauce.
Oh yeah, that's Sauce. Yeah, I remember him.
Sauce. He was good, man. He was good. The only reason I think he didn't do as well as he could have, I think he's a little bit narrow because I remember seeing him against, I think it was Nathan, I want to say, at the Cal. I think it was him and Nathan. But Nathan was so wide and it made him look a little narrow. He had a lot of muscle. But,
he also had a kid not too long ago, and I think he's just rolling back into it. So I'm a huge fan of his, though. He's a really soft-spoken guy too. He doesn't overcomplicate shit. He's just like eat a lot of food, train hard.
I like those UK guys. And Justin, man, hey, bro, this guy's shape is insane. I gotta be honest with you.
His arms are fucking huge.
Yeah, and his waist is.
That almost don't make sense.
You know what makes him look so crazy is like the triceps. So you go back to that front double. The tricep sweep on his front double is just like it goes out to his elbow.
Yeah,
it's
also bunched together that it's like super crazy looking.
Look at the biceps, and he even got good forearms. Listen, he might have one of the best arms in the completeness. I mean, it's not probably going to measure as big as some of the guys, but visually,
his look freakier almost in because Nick Walker's has a look to it, obviously, but because everything's touching.
Yeah,
his biceps meeting his forearm halfway.
I think
to his wrist.
I think he has probably top 3 front poses. Who had the better front relax, front double, and front lat spread than him besides Derek and Keon? Well, Keon's 212, right? So let's say Derek.
Mean,
from the front, these front shots are like.
You mean arm wise, or you just mean the whole pose?
The way the whole pose flows, the waist, the vacuum, the arms, the whole nine. Front double.
I mean, yeah,
I think Keon is Keon's got a more gradual V. He's more like a Y, where his lats really pop out. So overall, proportionally, I like Keon's look better, but Yeah, it's really close. I mean,
but let's say in the open, right? I would have
I
Derek.
think.
I'll have Derek, and for me to Andrew. You can't forget Andrew, but Andrew's it's a different look. It's a different look.
What about Samson? I mean, Samson's quads are so
ridiculous
out there. I mean,
I
think Carlos could look good next to him with that pose.
Yeah,
so
if he
did beat
peeled.
him. Carlos did beat him at the Nationals. Honestly, bro, I could have had Justin winning that Nationals. I would have no problem with that just because he was peeled. You know?
I honestly had him too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be peeled, man. You do got to be peeled. You know. But yeah, the crazy physique.
It's crazy. Carlos still placed third at Texas with the condition that he was in.
Man, I was watching a podcast that was showing a video, and bro, he wasn't in shape, man. He wasn't.
Oh
yeah.
Wasn't
I mean, like a few years ago, he would have been thrown in the second call out. They're kind of letting that slide a little more because he has everything else is there, you know. So impressive, but
Jordan was peeled. That other guy was peeled. The guy from UK, I forget his name. He was peeled.
Oh yeah, Lewis Breed. Yeah.
Listen, it has to count for something because if that was the case, Flex Wheeler would have beat Dorian. Sean Ray would have beat Dorian. You know, but they weren't peeled enough. You know, so I feel like if everybody is punished for it, then everybody got to be punished for it. You know, I get punished.
I think I mean, look at the Arnold this year. I mean, Justin was very soft from the back in Chicago this year. They've let guys win shows without being peeled because, I mean, the common thread there is like they have insane shape and people like that, you know, as fans.
Hey, man, if they keep it consistent, I have no issue with that for myself. I'll come in soggy glutes. I'll bring back my old school soggy glutes and.
Honestly, your best look was the cow, baby. I liked your cow look.
I liked it too because
you weren't like super watery. You definitely weren't peeled, but you were like you had a good look to you.
I think 5 pounds down, but I took it extreme and I went 15 pounds down, which was a bit much. But you know, and when you're in the moment, you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna just be peeled, you know.
Did you take Halo for your last show?
I did, but Halo it kills my appetite to the point that I can't eat enough to like look and decent. So I can't overdo it. I gotta wait like a week out sometimes.
Bro, I take Halo right before stepping on stage, and that was the best.
Yeah, Halo and Super Draw. Primo.
I did that for the Cal. At the Cal, I took a bunch of stuff in the morning. I took Halo, Proviron, I took the Anadraw, I took Super Draw. I just popped whatever was in the damn bag at that point.
I'm gonna be honest though, bro. Like with the that was the first time I ever took Halo, like this last prep, and I felt so bad for my damn dog. Like that shit turned me into an asshole. Like I remember laying in bed, I was trying to sleep, I'm all starving and shit, and I hear this motherfucker licking the water out of the bowl, and I'm just like, dude, for real? The fuck? It's like 3 a.m.
That dog was scared.
Snapping on the little guy, man. Oh.
No, but yeah, for the Cal, I loaded on that. I took a bunch of stuff, but for the USA, I just wanted to have just definition, separation, all the good stuff. I tried to.
It makes you look so hard, man. It always worked really well for me. Yes. I took it 4 weeks out, and fuck, man, it turns you into rocks. And obviously your diet is kicking in too, but it just hardens you, makes your skin really tight, and you're super round and vascular. And I held a good amount of fullness all the way through.
I've heard guys taking, ungodly amounts of Halo, just popping it like Skittles and just get harder and harder and harder. I guess if it's for a week, I guess it wouldn't hurt you too much, but I've heard some crazy Halo doses. It comes in 10 milligrams, right?
Yeah.
The highest I've gone to is 20.
Okay.
And so I've heard some people do like 40, 60. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's nothing.
Piss and orange.
I did 30.
That's light work. I mean, John O'Regan.
Dude, I'm the guy who did 60s too.
Oh, God.
What the fuck?
Noted.
I didn't want to throw Zayda under the bus, but I mean, they're the few.
No, I'm honest. No, I don't care. Honestly,
John O'Regan.
Dude, I wanted to get my card and fucking fly out of here.
Yeah,
do or die.
Yeah,
I'll talk to Blue. Yeah.
I remember my first show. I worked with John O'Regan, and he had, I think it was 40 milligrams the first 2 weeks out, and then a week out, he doubled everything. So it was 80 milligrams. Yeah, he doubled all the hardness. But the only problem was that I was in shape, so it didn't. It made me look hard.
They gonna do shit. Yeah,
it didn't.
Sorry.
It made me look hard at the place that I was already hard, which at the time was my abs was really like hard, like my chest and arms. I mean, but my ass was soft, hamstrings were soft, back was soft. You know what I'm saying? But the things that were supposed. But if you watch John's early clients, if you watch Dallas when he turned pro, his ass was soft. His ass and hamstrings were soft. He was hard in the chest and abs. So that protocol is like the chest and arms protocol, you know what I'm saying? And it works to a point, but everybody's different, man. I think some people, if you give somebody like that Max Charles or what's the Michael Lockett, they're gonna be fucking shredded and full and hard, but somebody like me, probably not.
They're probably taking like 25 mix of Winstrol though, like Michael Lockett. I mean,
but he's still at Venice and he's still fucking shredded all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's taken a shot in years. He's just insane.
This is my boy Damien. He qualified.
Yeah.
He's already doing this week, but he qualified for next year's Olympic. Bro, his shape
real good.
His shape is insane. To be honest, bro, he's lost some shows that I was like, I think they just didn't know who he was. I think sometimes you get lost, but his shoulders, arms, and chest, back, bro, his upper body, bro, is fucking ridiculous. His legs are more than good enough to match and balance him out, but his upper body is one of the best upper bodies in the entire division, bro. His upper body is nearly perfect, and if you see him in person, he looks like a bodybuilder, but
so round and full. Yeah, it's really impressive.
It's insane.
I was posing with him this last week. He was fucking crazy looking in the gym,
bro. He looks insane, bro.
It looks like he just stepped on stage here. It doesn't look like he really peaked. Like he's still like a little soft downstairs, which because the big dance in a week. So
okay, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. He didn't wanna, and he
just walked up.
He can flatten out. I have seen him flatten out in the past, and he looks a lot better, fuller. So he has to dry a little more in the glutes and hams, but he can't overdo it though. If he overdoes it, he loses what makes him so impressive. You know what I'm saying? But somebody like that, even if he was flat, honestly, he would still look pretty good, But yeah, he looks insane. And his coach is Dynamite D. And I didn't know Dynamite D coaches like that level of athlete. But
yeah, he's very slick. Yeah, I've heard that he's like, very buddy and friendly with people, and he is convincing, and he gets high-level guys to work with him.
Okay.
Not based off of his track record. It's not amazing. You remember he coached Keon for a while.
Really?
And Keon, everyone was telling Keon, like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you gotta bail here.
Damn.
I forget how that connection ended up, started, but yeah.
That's wild. I feel like Keon's genetics, man. He needs to work with, like I don't want to say top guys because that doesn't mean you're good, but people who have the track record.
I've heard Keon does not have the best work ethic from people who trained with and near him when he was in Dallas. He can kind of get away with shit and still win shows. Mm-hmm. There he is right there. But I doubt Patrick is going to be putting up with that.
Okay, I think in the past that kind of showed on stage, but I think now it's looking like he's he kind of flipped the switch. Even like if you look at his stories and posts, he has a different mindset now. He never used to talk like that or conduct himself that way. I think he sees it now. He gets it, and he just wants to fucking win at this point. And it's showing because his last show, I've never seen his glutes and hams look like that. You know?
Yeah, definitely moving out.
Same with Tonio. I've never seen Tonio this lean, this far out. This is actually 4 days ago. Yeah, I've never seen his glutes in before, like, honestly, like before stage.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't see his glutes until show day, you know?
I remember I was like, I was creeping him really hard before the New York. I was like, this is the guy to beat, right? And like me and my friends were like, he's going to be in shape because his glutes weren't in. We're like, oh, I don't think he's going to be there. And then he tightened up for the stage and he looked great. But again, he looks way better now at a week out than he did in New York a week out.
I think that's going to be a big difference. Brown looks pretty good himself.
Oh yeah, it's the increased weight cap helped them out.
It looks bigger, right? It looks bigger, rounder, fuller.
Yes, I was 100%. Yeah,
I think that's going to be key for him. And this guy looks pretty good too. Yeah.
Who's this guy?
He got good legs.
Red is his color.
Yeah, red is got color. But you know what? I feel like he needs to fix his face. I don't like how he's posing his face.
On stage, man, that's the only day your face doesn't count. I didn't even tan my face, only my body.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
That's funny. I didn't notice it either.
Me neither. That's funny. Oh, this is actually a friend of mine. He goes to goals. No.
Oh, Ken.
He
Yeah.
did the cow when I did the cow.
Oh yeah. Classic. And he won. I would assume.
He won, and then he got his pro card right after.
He looks good. Listen, classic is so stacked, bro. It's like
it's incredible, dude. He was second call out towards the end of the second call out, and he looks very good. You know,
it's crazy. It's like everybody looks so good, but they definitely they like the condition because there was a guy in the top 3 that he didn't really have like a good structure, good shape, but his condition was just freaky. So sometimes it comes down to that. There you go.
There's Trey.
Yeah, he's ready.
I think he's gonna win the whole show.
Me too.
I hope he does, man.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
A little rematch between him and Barrow from the USA's last year.
I thought he could have placed higher at the USA's.
I agree. Dude, when he was working with Cheek, he does not like Cameron, by the way.
He worked with him?
Yeah, for that 22 USA's. Cameron sucked I think it was 15 pounds off him in a week and a half or 2 weeks.
Oh,
he just crashed the fuck out of him at the end. He was barely over 230. And he's 6 foot, 6'1". He's a big dude.
Oh, fuck.
Now he's 260.
Yeah, 230 is not going to cut it at that height.
Yeah. I was going to say, because he morphed from last year.
Yeah.
Because he probably already had that muscle on him. He's actually taller than me. He might. No, he didn't have all that muscle. My fault. But he lost some muscle for the show. But he didn't have 260 pounds of muscle on him at the time.
Yeah, he's been with Blue for a year and a half now, and pretty impressive.
I think, bro, he was taller than me. He got to be 6'1", right? 6'2", maybe.
I think so. Yeah,
he's pretty tall. You guys heard about the guy that got shot? The bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to find his name. This guy don't look too good. I don't know what's up with his face.
Blood pressure's high. I actually checked my blood pressure. It was 127 over 60. I was hyped, dude. Wow, I did not expect it to be that low.
Man, I gotta be honest. During prep, I got you get OCD. I kept checking my blood pressure, but it's gonna be good in prep. I hope so. But I haven't checked, bro. I gotta be honest, I haven't checked during the rebound because I felt so uncomfortable. I was like, do I want to see this shit?
Stick your head in the sand, yeah.
Yeah, stick your head in the sand until it gets too alarming.
That classic show. Top picture there. That guy Nate Joyner. He won the overall at the USA's in 22.
Which
one? With the mustache and the mullet.
Oh, shit.
He just won his pro debut here.
It's a hell of a stash.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked exactly the same at the USA's actually in the face. Everything else is a lot better though.
Is this the same? What's this? This is the top. Okay, yeah, he won the whole thing. So I actually got questions for you guys from my Q&A. See.
How many guys are in the classic pro show? Like 30, 40?
Bro, there's so many.
Probably.
There's so many. Actually, but before I do that, I was gonna Zay, did you go to the Ultimate Warrior show or no?
No. I did not.
But I was gonna go. I told a couple because I had a lot of friends doing it. I told Larry I was gonna show up, but he actually Larry did the show. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh yeah, he won. He won the show.
He did.
I mean, fucking good.
He actually looks shredded, man.
I knew. I mean, it was. I kind of. It was kind of obvious he's gonna win just because his frame alone and he really learned how to pose now. So he makes himself look a lot more balanced than he even is, and he was fucking shredded. You know, he doesn't have a problem getting lean. That's for sure.
He's doing the amateur Olympia.
Yeah, but you know he didn't shave his armpits, bro. Did you guys notice that?
That's hilarious.
Oh no!
Yeah, he missed a spot there.
He missed the armpit.
Missed the whole spot.
My thing is like this is his first show in like 3 years, so I get that. But bro, all those video cameras around him, nobody told him that, bro, you missed the spot. Come on.
Well, it looks like his left hit is
What the hell?
Yeah, the left looked like it was, but the right is, bro, that's fully. I see it all the way down. That's in there, bro. You gotta shave the armpits, man. But
maybe if I was crazy dark armpits, bro, you don't know.
If I was Tarek, I'd be like, "Hey, Larry, come here, bro. Go back there. Here, take this. Go shave that armpit." But nah, he looked amazing.
That's a good friend.
Huh? Yeah,
that's a good friend.
Nobody told him, man. That's crazy. But his tan is good. Condition was perfect. His posing was on point, which was my biggest concern because I thought his posing was pretty bad. But he really he goes to this is the reason why he does well at so many different endeavors. He goes to it like a newbie. He doesn't go to it with like this attitude like, oh, I was the best power lifter. I'm gonna knock this out the park. It's just like, I don't know shit. You guys teach me everything. And he's just a blank slate. And he learns from the best people in that, in that discipline. And that's why he does well and everything, because he understands that he's ignorant to this. He doesn't know it. So let me completely blank my skill out and learn. And that's how you get good at shit. You can't come into shit thinking you know everything, right? So
yeah,
he's going to continue to excel.
Mm-hmm. I know nobody gives a shit, but dude, look at those calves.
I swear to God, I thought that like a minute ago, and I was like, Joe, shut the fuck up.
The question is, how can you squat 900 fucking pounds
with
that? Like, dude, how does it not tear off the fucking bone?
That's my question. Man. He actually trains the calves now, like a lot. I think every day he was doing it.
Hey, you got to start shooting them, bro.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he said he was going to start trying the everyday calf thing, but it's just one of those things, man. It's one of those body parts, bro.
I've been tempted to do that because I haven't trained my calves in years. They're just kind of there. Like I was thinking, like, what if I just spent a whole off season, hit calves at the end of every session? Just do it consistent. Don't even hit them that hard. Just like do it. What would it look like? Should I start doing that?
I think so.
I mean, for shits and giggles,
it's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, your calves are actually big. It's just like you have high inserts.
Yeah, I mean, for not training them at all, they look pretty decent. I do.
I mean, 100% they're gonna grow.
I might do that.
Honestly, I feel like if you have big ass calves, it takes away from your quads.
It can, yeah.
If it's as big as yours, Dave, we're not getting there anytime soon.
Well, you never know. You never know, bro.
That's true.
I remember this dude. What's his name? Eric Frankhauser. He had that problem. His calf is bigger than his quad.
It was. Honestly, like that Dallas, as big as his quads were, they would say he needs more sweep. But I think it was literally just because, I mean, his shoulders were really wide, but it's because his calves were fucking huge, bro.
Yeah. I think Dallas has the best ones, like ever, in terms of bodybuilding.
Like calves?
Oh, yeah, best calves ever, for sure.
I mean, I would say that didn't take away from his physique. I think Frankhauser had the biggest, but it kind of ruined his physique. Like, no offense, but it didn't make him look good. It made him look worse, right? So, like, on your body, I would probably say Flex Lewis or Dallas. But you know, but like Ben Pukowski or like Frank Hauser, I don't think it helped their physique. You know, I think it just created more imbalance. You know,
if I had a choice to be known for something, I wouldn't care for it to be my calves.
See, something about calves to me, I just like.
Oh, you would it, or you wouldn't want it?
I'd rather be known for like a big ass back or big ass arms, not my calves.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't have calves like that, but I'm saying like if I had a really good body part, I don't want it to be my calves.
That's what I always say. And exactly what I fucking say.
Bodybuilding criteria.
All right, let's see. Get some questions cracking. I'm not gonna pick the corny ones though. We're not doing no rate my physiques. I feel like too many podcasts do that shit. I don't think.
As long as if we're all mean, we could do that. That could be funny.
Stu's specialty.
Yeah. No problem. Get roasted for free.
I think my best put. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good actually. You know. What do you think is the best way to approach post-show rebound? This is by J _Miga. What do you think is the best way to approach a post-show rebound? Let's start with Big Joe.
King of rebounds.
Approach everything gradually from training to food. Like your body is so receptive to everything at that point. Even like the stimulus of the train doesn't have to be intense in the beginning. So like start off with one working set, work up to 2, maybe even 3 towards the end. Slowly build up the weight on the bar, and do the same with the food though. You don't want to, those first couple weeks you should actually be like, depending on how you approach like the 2 days or the dinner and then the day after the show, how much water you put on. That first week should be about getting it off. Second week, allow your body to kind of like come into its homeostasis and then slowly build up from there. But you don't want to go swinging out the gate with a bunch of food and hard training. You're just going to mess yourself up. And you're going to ruin the longevity of the rebound. If you put on way too much weight those first couple weeks, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. You're not going to have you're not going to have a high ceiling. You're just going to stall out real fast and be real watery, real fat, puffy, feel like crap. So yeah, gradual progression.
Don't eat a bunch of junk food and try to bench 500 pounds like 2 weeks.
Yeah. The worst thing you do.
Which is what most beginners do. I feel like that's what I used to do. I used to eat a bunch of shit and lift heavy ass weights, and I look great. And you look great for 2 weeks, if that,
until you
maybe 1 week, and then you look like shit for the 7 weeks. How about you, Stu?
So what I actually do versus what I would advise people to do is going to be different because like I have a really fast metabolism and like I can get away with shit in a rebound that most people would just like it make them fat as hell. You know, I can have like a cheat meal a day for like 2 weeks and just be totally fine. It just all goes to the right places. But yeah, like Joe said, you know, ease back into the training. First week, I'm doing like 7, 8 out of 10 intensity on all my sets, just working back into the, you know, trying to train hard, really controlled. You don't need to be setting PRs at that point. You might be by the end of the rebound, but you know, at first, just be careful because you know, you're probably coming off of like a bunch of fucking Winstrol and you know aromatase inhibitors and everything's dry and crackly, and you're gonna feel like shit. And things are fragile, so be careful. But yeah, I think you should, you know, have like a couple cheats a week, but you know, get your food back up to not where it was at the beginning of prep, but like a decent amount. Like if you're, and this is going to depend on how easily you put on fat, really, because if you just blow your sensitivity by eating too much too fast, then obviously you need to be way more gradual. But like my baseline diet goes back up probably like 400 or 500 grams of carbs in the first couple of weeks, and then we kind of ratchet it up from there. plus I'm throwing junk on top of that. Someone else would probably need to be way more gradual though. You don't want to put on like 20 pounds in a couple of weeks. That's too much.
Yeah.
The scale really is a good tool in that scenario.
Yeah.
So
You don't want, if at any point of the rebound you're laying down and you can hear your heartbeat in your ear, you push it too far. Too far.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah, speaking from
Oh,
experience, I'm
that's
like, damn,
hilarious.
I could hear my heartbeat echoing in my ear just by laying down. That's a bad sign. It means your heart is that's your heart calling for help. It's like, bro, relax.
Yeah, and taper off of what you're doing. So if you're taking like clenbuterol and thyroid going to the show, you need to like don't just drop it cold turkey because like you will have a compensatory rebound of fat gain from that.
Sure.
Especially if your thyroid was kind of shut off. If I don't use a lot of thyroid, I use T4, but like some people will really ramp up their T3, and if you just drop that, you're in trouble. Same with clenbuterol, taper off of it, like lower the dose every couple of weeks until it's out. Drug wise, do you guys keep anabolics in during a rebound, or are you just off completely?
I personally don't take anything after the show except test.
Okay. Is it like 200 mgs a test or 500 mgs a test?
The first 4 weeks of my rebound was 600, coming down from 1,000, and after that I went down to 200, then 0.
Okay.
Okay. I usually after the show I'll pop. Well, I'm probably not on anything at the time, right? Because I usually come off of tests pretty early on. So the only thing I'm probably on is Tren, Masteron, and then some orals. So I'll usually keep in Masteron. I've kept in Tren too as well, maybe like 3 weeks. But I like half the dose, right? So if I work my way up to like, let's say I was doing 600 of each a week out, I might cut it down to 300 for a couple of weeks, because I treat everything like the diet. Same way I wouldn't just go from 0 to 100 on the food. I don't want to go from gear to no gear, right? So I kind of go half the doses maybe on the cutters, and then and then I'll probably add in tests at like 500, just because at that point anything more than 500, I hold so much water because my body's been. I'm somebody who has to dehydrate quite a bit and limit my water consumption. So
yeah,
I can't throw in a bunch of stuff that hold water. So I can't even run GH for like the first 4 weeks of the rebound.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because I get so watery. Like I get so sensitive, and I'll blow up 20 pounds of just like fullness and fluid like almost instantly, and that doesn't feel good, man.
That feels awful.
Yeah, so I got to do everything super gradually. Even when I go into off season, as weird as it sounds, let's say I run 1,000 grams of test, right? I don't start with 1,000 grams of test. I start with 500, then go to 750, then go to 1,000. Just because my body, if I start at 1,000, I gain like 10, 15 pounds, boom, of water weight and fullness, like right away. Once it hits that, once it kicks in. So I can't do anything. Everything I do has to be gradual. Everything. So that's something you have to learn for yourself, because a lot of coaches aren't gonna like tell you to do that because they have 100 clients. They're not going to be like, hey, let's just gradually do. They'll just give you your plan, and that'll be it. So sometimes you have to think for yourself.
Yeah. I try to keep things in. I mean, if I was on like 2 grams of injectables going to the show, give or take,
hypothetically
for the sake of argument, like I'm going to drop things down to like probably like 500 mgs of test and 300 mgs of NPP, or maybe some EQ, or so like, probably like about a third of what I was doing milligram wise going to the show. But it's also like, it's not Tren and Masteron. It's like test and NPP. It's not as harsh.
Yeah.
And personally, like I probably put growth back in it, because I'll drop that like a week and a half out. I'll put that back in as soon as I can, at like 5 units, and then ramp it back up to 10. And just stay there for the rest of my life. And just, if you can milk that for 6 to 8 weeks, I always get blood work done like a couple weeks after the show. So like try to get a snapshot of when things are pretty close to their worst. So you're being honest with yourself, like, okay, this is with some anabolic still in. I just did all this crap to my body for the show. Where are we at? What do we need to fix? And if it's ugly, like, the thing is, even over the course of that rebound with that way milder cycle in and everything, your blood work will improve massively in that time frame. Yeah. Right. But it's still good to get a look at the worst case scenario at the beginning. And if it's really fucking ugly, you should probably just, drop the drugs out and just go to a cruise.
Smart.
It's never been really fucking ugly for me, fortunately. So I generally can run that for 8 weeks after a show, and then drop to a cruise after that, and get things real pretty.
Yeah. Shit, there was a time I was getting blood work done. It was like every 6 weeks or every 4 weeks, but that was like that was that period of time where like people just kept dropping dead, bro. I was like, wow, all these bodybuilders are dying. I got paranoid, and I just started checking my blood work just whenever I could, and I just kept going back. But at some point, you got to trust the process and be like, okay, I'm doing things relatively safe, and it is what it is. I mean, you kind of know what you signed up for. Did everybody go? I don't remember the damn question.
No, I didn't go. I was just gonna say about the rebound.
Okay.
It all depends how conditioned you are, to be honest. Because if you were truly in condition, the rebound is going to be amazing. So a gradual gain is your best bet. But if someone was just on a rebound but not really was conditioned, I would treat it a little differently. And then because you can jump high quicker to training. But if you were truly conditioned, the first 2 weeks are more about recovery, hydration, get to sleep, take more naps. I would do one cheat meal every 4 days. That's reasonable. And I would do a lot of fruits if you're feeling super hungry, something you can eat while you can't eat, a bunch of shit. I would rather eat fruits. I would have a carb cycle diet with basically high carbs for a few days, and the rest of the week is medium carbs. Training, I would do 3 times a week, basically. Pump workouts. Don't do any heavy things until at least 2 weeks have passed, until you're fully hydrated, you're fully pumped, and you can work out with full maximum intensity. Because you can stretch the gain weight in this process if you play it slowly, if that makes any sense, and then you can easily rebound for up to 10 weeks, no problem, if you don't eat garbage food from the first month. You can extend the gaining period longer, and you can benefit more out of that. And that's my advice. Obviously, I did not do that the first few shows I did. I just ate my ass off, and I learned I shouldn't do that. I got so fat so quick, and literally by a month, I didn't look like I even competed anytime soon. So I definitely don't advise that, but I had to learn the hard way. That's all. And
you said something earlier about
more discipline. The more disciplined you are, the more clean gain you're gonna get, for sure.
I think the novelty of the rebound also kind of wears off after a couple of shows. It's like, okay, I've been this hungry before. I know what this is like, and it's not the end of the world. So like when you go back to eating, it's not just like, a tsunami of shit.
Exactly.
You said that you go down to test. Do you go down to TRT or just like just a regular test dose that you were already doing?
It depends how much you took for the show. So for me, I peaked at 1,000 mg. So coming back for a rebound, for the first 4 weeks, I would do 600 milligrams. Then I would do 200 for a few weeks. Then I'm cutting it off completely. So gradually go down.
All right. So for me, see, when I answer questions, I look at things from so many different points, because I coach athletes as well. That's what I do full time, and everybody's so different that I almost don't have like a standard way of doing things. Everything is literally like Stu said, right? Okay, what does your blood work look like? So if I know like this client just did, like I had a guy win the universe, right? But he did a show to qualify like 9 weeks before. So he prepped for 16 weeks, then had a 9-week little mini rebound, then had another push down. So it's like a 30-week prep. So after the 30-week prep, we're not about to do another 8 to 10 weeks of pushing your weight up. You already, you know what I'm saying? So we literally did an off season on gear into a prep, into a rebound, into another prep. We're not trying to do another fucking rebound after that. You know, I don't even got to see your blood work to tell you that. So we did we went straight into a health phase, but he still looked like he was on gear, and he still got the rebound effect on TRT because, first of all, for the next, for him, he was still on tests, he was still on Primo. I got to cut those things out. He didn't. So the drugs were still in his system for another 3-4 weeks. So for the first 4 weeks of the health phase, he was still on drugs technically. So he's still making those gains. And listen, if you can make gains naturally, you can make gains on TRT. So he was still getting stronger, still making gains. It looked like we had a full-blown rebound, but he was on TRT. So that's one way to do it, right?
I think I'm probably going to have to do that. If I qualify for the Olympia next year, and I do like 3 or 4 shows, it takes that long, then, I'm going to have one of those extended periods where I'm like dieted down on a lot of shit. And like, I'm not going to be able to rebound out of that because, say if you try to do an 8-week rebound, like, oh, you're now 8 weeks out from the Olympia. And you've been on steroids all year. It's like, that's not good. You can't do that. So, next year, if that's my situation, I'll probably just drop to TRT, keep growth hormone in because, that's like the sun rising and setting. It's always there.
Exactly.
And, work your way back up, put on like 15 pounds, maybe some tissue, maybe not, and then just, try to get in shape for the O. Cause like you get beat up physically from training, everything, getting ready for shows, but also just like biologically, I don't know what to call it. Like being on shit that long just feels like crap.
Yeah.
You're just begging for a cruise at that point.
Exactly.
So
Plus, who fucking enjoys spinning? Let's be honest.
I kind of enjoy it at the end of prep, but the rest of the time, no.
You're a fucking psycho, man. I do not enjoy it at all.
Only at the end.
No, I feel like the last 6 weeks, boy, you're pinning like a fucking professional. You're so crazy and far gone. It's nothing. But there's no pain. Like you said, you look forward to this shit. Like, let me get this shit. Yeah, we're gonna win the show. Bro, right after the show, bro, I'll miss half my shots. Like I'm so over it. I don't even want to pin. And then off season, even on like cruise, just that one shot, I don't want to do it. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this shot.
And that's honestly the reason why I only keep test on the rebound because I don't want to pin more. That's all.
Exactly. Okay. Oh yeah. So back to my point. Yeah. So everybody's completely different. There's no one way to do the rebound, right? And then for myself, it almost changes every year because my body changes every year and I learn new things about myself every year. So like I said earlier, I like to progress everything. So training, by the end of prep, my training volume is way down. And even like my intensity starts to go down like the last couple of weeks, right? So first thing I'll do is build, I'll train exactly the same as I was training like a week out. I'll train like that like a week after the show. Then I'll push the intensity up a little bit until I'm training to full failure again. But my volume is still 6 to 9 sets. Then once I feel good enough at that rate, okay, now I'll add in the 20 minutes of cardio 4 or 5 times a week. Okay, I feel good. Then now I'll maybe push it up to 7 sets, then 8 sets. Just because anytime I don't do it that way, I just hit a wall and I feel like even worse than I did on prep. I'll be like, bro, this feels so horrible. I'm so fatigued. I'm so tired. That's
another thing to note. If you were doing like an hour and a half, 2 hours of cardio going into a show and you just drop that cold turkey, it's just like the thyroid and the clen. It's like that was aiding in fat loss. So if you just pull that shit out completely, like it will again lead to a total balloon effect. And that's, I personally can drop, 25 minutes of stairs out completely and I don't get fat, your mileage may vary.
Exactly. So I guess the general point is no rebound is the same, but definitely don't overeat and don't go too fast up in weight. Don't go too fast up in training intensity, and you should be fine. But honestly, if you hire a coach, probably just probably follow what the fuck the coach says. That's probably the easiest way to do it. You know,
golden rule, right?
Follow it. Honestly,
don't
sometimes
do.
Exactly. Sometimes I get certain questions, and I'm like, bro, I feel like you should hire a coach because this is so intricate. It's like if you feel the need to ask some of these questions, you should probably have a coach.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, dude. On these Q&As that we do sometimes, it's like they ask a very specific question that depends on like 5 other things that I have no idea what's going on. I'm like, I can't help you, dude. I'm sorry.
Exactly. All right. Got an insulin question, but I think we can answer this quick. How many weeks to stay on Slim for it to give you gains that stay? That's not really it's not really a question you can answer.
It's another one of those questions that's just like depends on so many things. Are you a fat ass? Like, how's your fasted blood sugar? Is your insulin sensitivity still good? Like,
exactly. So
have you maxed out the gear before you're using
Yeah,
insulin?
because I know guys that say I want to do Slim before they even hop on the cycle because like it's cheap. I can get it for $30 at Walmart or some shit like that. I'm like, well,
you can get Walmart insulin. That's going to do you a lot of good. Sure.
But cheap doesn't mean do it, right? I know a guy that he was getting gear for super cheap because his boy was making it and he was giving him like $10 a bottle test, like shit like that. So he was taking a shit ton of gear. I'm talking about like 3-4 grams of test, right? And I'm like, do you think you're going to grow any faster? He said, not really. I'm not really sure, but I could afford it because it's so cheap, so might as well. And I'm like,
honestly, when someone says to 4 grams of test, you have to question where he puts it. There's what the fuck,
dude? Yeah, dude, that's so much shit.
You can kind of see it a little bit because they look a little puffy. It's putting it everywhere, man. It's going in everywhere. But some people can't do that. I don't think I could physically pin that much gear.
You'd regret it.
Yeah, you would. Now we got date 1, fuck, kill 1.
Oh no.
Jay Cutler, Mike O'Hearn, Sean Ray. Date 1.
Oh shit.
So marry for kill? No, date for kill. Jay, Mike, Sean.
Oh, that's easy for me. I would kill Sean for sure.
Yeah, that's an easy one. That's easy.
Yeah. I would marry Jay and I would date Michael.
Yeah, but if you're gonna get married, Jay Cutler got
Jay would take good care of me. He's rich.
Yeah,
exactly.
Mike got money too, but I don't think Mike got Jay money. I'll tell you that.
But Jay gets to travel everywhere and take me with him.
That's true.
He's a handsome man. He's still very handsome. Man. I'm not a fan of Mike O'Hearn though. He's just a little too plasticky for me. Jay though, that's just all American beauty right there.
That's true. Yeah. But keep in mind, I'm 6 foot tall, so I need me a little Mike O'Hearn, a little tall. He like 6'2". I don't want to
feel like the little guy in the relationship.
I don't want to look down. I want to look up. I need some height.
Maybe you could finally tell us what his real cycle is.
Exactly. Come on, man. Well, he's in movies now. He did that movie with this guy, that famous actor from a bunch of shit. He's in Creed but Mike is doing big things now, bro. He's about to be an actor, man. His break is coming, so I want to hop on the train before it leaves the station. So I'm gonna go ahead. I think I'm gonna.
He makes you sign a prenup, though.
Yeah, he's gonna make me sign a prenup for sure. I think I'm gonna marry Mike O'Hearn, sleep with Jay, and then kill Sean. Or we
all agree on that.
Or I could sleep with Sean Ray and just make it very unpleasant.
No Vaseline.
Exactly. That works either way. And then that was a good one. What's the best exercise?
Yeah, his asshole's probably stretched out. Let's be honest.
But he's not even in the industry anymore. Like he's
after that last Olympia commentary, he got fucking
that's
destroyed.
it, bro. Man,
about time, man.
I like when people are honest and blunt. Like, I mean, Stu is pretty blunt, honest. Milos is blunt, honest. But there's a difference between just being a dick.
Yeah, he's like honest but wrong. Like his opinions are just fucking stupid.
People die, and this guy is like parading,
gloating. I mean,
that's crazy, bro. That's insane. He had a crazy physique, I'll say that. But bro, this guy, I don't get it. That's the biggest, most action.
You remember how he said about Sean Roden that he was a fucking drug addict and stuff like that?
Yeah. Bro, this shit like it's crazy.
The guy just passed, you know.
Read the fucking room.
Yeah, he's bad at that. Can you ask Stu if he's going to do the Vancouver Open? Is that a show? Is that the real show? Is that open?
Vancouver Open
in 2024.
There's a Vancouver Open show in Vancouver, Washington, which is like just north of Portland in Oregon. That's an amateur show. I'm not doing that show. I might go to it, but then there's the Vancouver.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misread it. Yeah, he said actually if he's going to the Vancouver Open 2024. My bad.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'll probably be hitting a bunch of local shows around here, just kind of showing my face and stuff, poaching clients.
You might know this guy because I know him. Cashman.
Cashman kind of fit.
Yeah.
I recognize his handle. I may have met him. I'm so fucking. Oh yeah. Dude, he was
classic, right?
Yes, he did class. Yeah, he's really cool. I talked to him for a while.
Yes, he's super cool.
I'm so fucking bad at names and faces and shit. All
right, let's do one more. How many weeks? We did the post rebound. How many weeks? What do you think is the best approach? What's the best? I don't like the best exercise stuff, but we're gonna do it anyways. We could do like I guess your favorite. It doesn't mean it's gonna be the best for anybody else. But what's the best exercise like, for each body part? I guess, but let's do the big body parts. Arms, you can't really. I don't know. What's the best exercise for legs? Your favorite?
What part of the leg? Is there a specific part of the leg?
You're right. Quad. Let's say quad.
I'll say hack squat.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. You got
some squat variation. I mean,
yeah, to ice like for quads, not like overall leg. I would have to go pendulum just because it gives that angle that even more tension on my quads than the hack. But the hack, I mean, if you place your feet a little lower, same difference. Yeah, so I think
pick something that doesn't hurt and you can progress over time. Mm-hmm. That's a squat variation. You're going to be fine. It could even be a barbell squat. If you're good at barbell squatting and you're not, your torso rigidity and your glutes and shit are not limiting your ability to progress that weight and tax your quads, and it's a great exercise.
And also get adequate knee flexion. Don't leg press 20 plates and have your feet up here and then you're moving here, right? But you're training glutes and hamstrings, right? Or
caveat to that.
Oh yeah.
On those like full ROM dudes who just like fucking take their feet back to their ears. I was like, whenever I see that, I just think of myself, you're practicing to get fucked from the front, aren't you? Like that's all I can think of. Like that level of mobility is for women. I'm sorry. It's gay.
See, I try to get as deep as possible for me, but I mean within limits, right? I'm not trying to be the most flexible bodybuilder in the world. Yeah. I'm just trying to get knee flexion. So as long as my hamstring, my calves can touch my hamstrings without my legs being behind my neck, it doesn't have to do that.
With the leg press though, in all seriousness, like if your pelvis starts tilting backwards in order for you to get more range of motion, that's going to start putting pressure on your lower back, and you can hurt yourself doing that. I've done it before on a leg press.
You can.
If you have really good hip mobility, then those guys who are actually taking the weight all the way down like that, it's like they do have pretty good hip mobility to do that, but I can't do that.
Yeah, so pick us. Yeah, like you said, it doesn't even have to be a squat movement technically. Just of movement where you're getting completely lengthened and shortened. Pretty simple. And you want to feel it. If you're finished and your knees hurt, you feel nothing on your quads and hamstrings are pumped, then it's not the movement for you. So it's going to have to go by feel. You don't need somebody else to tell you what's the best for you, honestly.
And put your weight over the middle of your foot. I mean, obviously you have to do that when you're barbell squatting or you fall over. But you see guys doing like hack squats and they're rolling up onto their toes or something. Mm-hmm. It's like that's going to put a lot of pressure on your knee. You're not going to be able to balance yourself and think about putting the load through your quad. Mm-hmm. So you got to set yourself up properly. If you have shitty knee flex or ankle mobility, get a heel, get a wedge. Make it work for you.
What about for back? I guess let's say lats, because lats and mid back is a little different. For lats,
pullovers for sure.
Pullovers is a good one.
I would say I like chest supported T-bar row.
For the lats or for the back?
For any part of the so you could do it with the lats, you do it for mid back. It just depends on your hand placement.
Yeah.
But if you pull on the lower end of like the variation like this, you can shoot your elbows back into the lats. I have low lats, so I'll grip it on the lower end, and I love chest supported T-bar rows.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one actually. How about you, Stu?
Yeah, the execution, like you said, execution with any of these movements is so important, because I could do like a straight bar pull down, but like tilt my chest so that I'm driving down with my lats, or I could pull it back higher towards my neckline, and that's going to hit like my teres up here, right? Or I can do a chest supported row and drive my elbows back and down, and that's going to be a lat movement. Or I can drive them up here, and that's going to be an upper back, rhomboids, traps, all that crap. So just think about where your elbows are driving. That's how I think about back training, and that's really good way to lock into a muscle.
My lats, I feel the most stretch and contraction of my lats, the best pump, best connection with cable pullovers, like directly my lats. But overall back, just what I feel the most areas of my back light up would be chest supported T-bar row.
I'm thinking about overall like maximum growth, because you can load it, you can like angle it a certain way to favor where you're trying to hit your back, and you get a really deep stretch, and you get a full contraction. So I'm just thinking about overall mass gain on that.
My last back day, I did chest supported, but I was training with one of my friends, Mal, who's a classic pro, right? He has a really good back, and I noticed he was having his chest off of it and basically his stomach, and he was doing this really crazy arch thing, and I was like, it looks like that would feel good. And I tried it, and literally I was sore from my erectors all the way up to my traps that day, just because I've never done that before. I've never fucking done this. I always kind of just roll my elbows back, but I've never actually arched my back to that point and then pull my elbows back. And my entire back was sore.
Dude, I never do movements like that. What I like to do on like anything I'm doing is like lock myself into a really solid torso position, whether I'm pressing or pulling or whatever. And just like, I want my arm moving in order to recruit a specific muscle. And I don't want this shit moving at all. I don't even really want my shoulder blades stretching out that far. I don't want to rock back. It's like, this is my base, and this is my muscles are pulling shit off of the base.
You want to keep it tight.
Because personally, maybe it's a skill issue, but like if I was doing this motion and like rocking back, I would not be able to keep it on the target muscle.
Yeah.
Because the target muscle very well might be changing over the course of that movement.
It does change.
Yeah.
I think that's why I felt so many different areas, because my rear delts were sore as well, right? Because once you get that stretch, what I like to do is I usually do 2 or 3 working sets, right? So I'll do like a heavy set where I'm just honestly focusing on moving the weight with the intended muscle. I'm not trying to use different muscles, but I'm more focused on getting 10 plus reps with this weight. So that's like my heavy stimulus set. Then I do a back down set where I want to completely remove any momentum or any other muscles besides the specific muscle, right? So that'll be like my, specific set. I don't know. And then if I felt like I need another set because maybe that set I didn't get enough reps or my form could have been tighter, then I'll do a third set. But if I get everything I need out of the 2 sets, that'll be it. So I try to get the best of both worlds, right?
But you're still lifting as heavy as you can in that second set while maintaining that kind of focus, right?
Exactly.
So load is still super important. I don't know how heavy you were doing that weird variation you're talking about, but I doubt you could load up a ton of plates on there and do that.
No, that day actually in my head was supposed to be like, usually when I work out with other people, no offense to them, but that's usually the workout I take a little easier because I usually work out with people when I plan on taking it easy because you're gonna be talking and you're gonna be shit like that. So that's usually the workout. I was already burnt out that week, so I was like, let me take this back workout a little easier. So that's why I'm trying different things and shit like that. So no, I didn't.
Thanks, Betty. Thanks, Betty.
I think the key takeaway from that though is don't mistake the feeling of tension. You're really squeezing something with a 30-pound dumbbell for actual mechanical tension because it can feel like you're really loading something up. You might get a great pump even, but it's like you gotta have some weight on the bar.
Tension on it. Yeah, sure.
And you can still maintain great form and great feel and great control with a significant, maybe 70% of the load you were lifting originally on that heavier set, but don't lose track of that,
Exactly. So let's do shoulders, but for shoulders, let's pick which part of the shoulder do you think is the most important to building impressive looking shoulders? Let's do that first.
Side delts for sure. Yeah, if you have really round, big side delts, that makes you look really impressive, even if your front delt is shallow. So obviously, rear delts also are awesome, but it means nothing if you don't have a side delt, right?
I don't know anybody with weak front delts, because you're just using them every time you press.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah.
And they oftentimes take, if you have shitty lateral raise for them, they're going to take over on that. So don't worry about your front delts. I always crack up when I see people doing front raise and stuff. You got that base covered, man. Don't worry about it.
Facts. Do you guys start with side delts? Or...
I start with the rear delts.
I switch it off.
Yeah. I usually start with rear delts just because I feel the most warmed up when I do that. So I usually do one rear delt, one side delt. Then I'll probably go to front delt. Then I'll do another rear delt, then another side delt. I like to sometimes start and finish with, rear and side delts.
Is that front delt movement you're doing an overhead press though, or is it like a raise?
No, I don't do front raises. I don't do front raises. I usually do either a dumbbell press, Smith machine press, or like a Arsenal or a hammer strength shoulder press. But I don't do any front raises. I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm trying to stabilize my body. It's putting a little tension on my lower back from not trying to rock back and forth. And I don't really think I need a second movement for front delts, honestly.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, it's so redundant.
I don't see the point in doing front raises, honestly. I just that one press, and presses, you have to stabilize it with your rear delt and side delt. So you're kind of getting the entire delt, but mostly front delt. I think that's more than enough. I don't think you got to do a bunch of extra shit for it.
And keep in mind, anytime you do an incline press, you are really recruiting that front delt. I remember reading some study forever ago when I actually read studies where there was they tested the EMG activation on the front delt during an incline press movement. And it was 100%. It was 95 or 98% of what it was on an overhead press.
Yeah.
So you're using that muscle a lot. It's getting plenty of stimulus with all your other shit you're doing.
100%.
I like the seated military shoulder press with dumbbells. That's a really good one.
Sometimes it depends if my shoulders are behaving.
Yeah,
if my shoulders are working against me. I gotta do something. When they're being naughty, I gotta take it to a machine or something.
Well, yeah, sometimes it's a pain in the ass to throw them up there too.
Oh man.
You gotta have like a buddy hand it off.
Yeah, I'll be having teams trying to pass me damn dumbbell. If it's heavy enough, I don't want to be kicking the shit up. I almost hurt my groin doing that shit before. but gentlemen, it's that time. I'm getting a little hypo. But it's we've been on for almost 2 hours. And Joe, you got to start getting paid. You can't be rocking these brands like that, man. They got to send you a check.
You know, I was thinking about what shirt I should wear. I almost put the one with my corgi on it. I was like, fuck all these people.
Wait, I thought you were with Hostile.
No, I just like coming up. I love their shit, so I just have a bunch of their shit.
Oh, okay.
Rocking,
my mistake.
Yeah.
Just rocking like me. Like I might wear gasp shit, but I had to pay for that shit.
Joe, I think if you keep promoting them on even on your expense, I think they'll eventually get you on the team, bro. I think you're a great fit with them. No,
you don't want to be on Redcon.
No, you
didn't. They won't do shit for Redcon doesn't pay anybody.
Yeah.
No, I would love to be with like part of Hostile or Gasp and something like that. That'd be cool.
Honestly,
I think you can fit into Gasp really good. Like,
I would love to do Gasp. That's like a dream.
You could do it. I mean, you could literally do it right now. You just gotta. We could talk off here. I mean, Stu is you would Gasp, right?
Yeah, I just joined up with him like a second ago here, so
yeah, man,
I'm gonna be heading down to nationals and train with.
I kind of like that. Like for example, you know how like Derek he's with like Hani's company, and then he has Gasp and stuff. And I want something like that kind of duo. And I don't think like, for example, if I was a Hostile, I have to wear their brand of clothes and stuff like that. They're contracted like that, so I kind of want something separate like that.
Yeah. Maybe we should log off before we continue.
You can cut this out.
Help me learn.
Stay on though. Everybody stay on. I'm gonna just end the recording.
All right.
Okay.
All right. End meeting for all. Right. Leave meeting.
Bye, people.